Yeah, dog. What is up, guys? Back at it again with another video. Nick Walker finally breaks his silence on what he thought of the Olympia, what happened. We didn't get full details, and he kind of broke his silence a little bit with his coach, Kyle Wilkes, saying what happened and this and that. But now we have Nick speaking on a camera. And, it's not much. So he was on the Food Abia podcast with Guy's sister Nino, and before Guy came on, it was just kind of like Nick and Fuad, and they touched a little bit about his Olympia preparation.
How are you, man? What's going on?
Overall, what happened, how he felt, what he thought went wrong. And honestly, so for one, I'm just happy that the guy is in good spirits. Like, Nick is actually in pretty decent spirits. Part of him, I'm sure, is devastated. Like, nobody wants to go in a show and lose. No one wants to go in a show preparing to win, being told that you're going to win. At Pittsburgh, beating the Mr. Olympia, or I guess Derek Lunsford was a 2023 Mr. Olympia. But Nick beat him in prejudging. So Nick is like going into the show with like all the momentum, all the accolades, and then you just bomb it and come sixth. You know how devastating that must be? It's like, I don't even know what to compare it to. Like, the amount of time that goes into the training and the prepping and the food, and I mean, in his case, like, he's enhanced, so the pinning of the needles and stuff, like all these things, right? All this that goes into that to result in a sixth place finisher, which, by the way, sixth in the world, that's still incredible. That's not some small feat. That's not some like Mickey Mouse thing. That's massive. If I was sixth in the world in anything, I would be ecstatic. There's only 6 people in the world that are at my level at that point. But, we know what Nick trains for, and he didn't train for 6th place. He wanted to win. He thought he was going to win at the press conference, saying that he's going to win. It just didn't happen. Anyways, let's kind of get into a little bit about what he said, and we're going to dissect his thoughts on why he placed to where he placed and just overall his opinion. So let's get into it.
Was, very disappointed in, especially after a year of putting in tons and tons and tons of hard work. It was going to be, and when I go back and look at photos and shit, to me it was just like way off.
I don't understand what happened.
I was just, I guess, from morning to night, it was just a different type of thing for him. So
yeah,
it's like, and that was, obviously his first time, so it was, I guess, he had a hard time, I guess, maybe just tracking.
Yeah.
Everything, so it is what it is. It was just like, I don't know, for me being like where I'm used to being, right? Like it was just disappointing for me.
So Nick Walker essentially is blaming his coach. He's essentially saying that Kyle just didn't understand how to peak someone for the 2-day structure of a show. If you don't know, the Mr. Olympia prejudging is on Friday night. And then the finals are also Saturday night. So it's a 2-day event. And usually with shows, prejudging is in the morning. Like, typically in the past when I've competed, prejudging is in the morning and finals are at night that same day. I've never done a 2-day show, but in the morning is their best look. Like, you are going to be your best in the morning. You just woke up. You're usually your most driest, your most leanest. You just have that look in the morning. Afternoon, evening, and night, it is just not even comparable. So from him, his coach just didn't understand how to peak someone for a night show. That's number one. Number two, his coach didn't understand how to peak someone competing in a 2-day event. So essentially his coach is an amateur at this in terms of the Olympia level. Kyle Wilkes is not an amateur. He's actually a pretty decent coach from what I've seen online and from what I've heard. But him at this level, this is the first Olympia athlete he's had to peak to work with. And he just never had to experience this. So it sounds like he just dropped the ball, essentially. But there's another factor that they're not really recognizing. And, like Nick kind of realized that he wasn't on. I know his peak wasn't great based off what he's saying and obviously based off of how he showed up on stage. He was saying right before stepping on stage, those like first 2 steps kind of like feel like your lats and stuff. And he just wasn't able to get a good pump. He wasn't able to get that like tight skin muscle pump, which is, the best feeling in the world. I'm driving right now, by the way. So the best feeling in the world is a tight pump. Like, my God, like you feel strong. You feel like you're your biggest and hardest. He couldn't get that. Backstage pumping up, he just could not get that. But at the end of the day, he also just wasn't in his best shape in terms of conditioning, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion as well. Nick on stage, 7 pounds heavier, only competing a couple months prior. Like, he has great genetics for building muscle, incredible. He has one-of-one genetics. Like, there's not a lot of people in the world who can get that size. He's the same height as Keon. And Keon is nowhere near the size of Nick Walker. So obviously in terms of genetics to grow, yeah, Nick is insane. But 7 pounds in a couple months, there's no way. There's no way. Like, yes, the peak wasn't great, but you were also not fully in shape. And it's just based off of what I'm seeing. And if you compare the pictures of Pittsburgh or even New York to what we saw in the Olympia stage, you can tell where he was leaner. You can tell where he had more definition, lines. It just was a different physique. And I'm not sure what happened with the legs. I mean, he's saying that his legs weren't downsized. It'll just, I mean, if you go based off of Tyler Mannion, Tyler noticed his quads looking downsized as well. But Tyler speculated it's the fact of his waist might have been that much bigger that it threw off the illusion of the legs being proportionate, which is very well could be the case, because when you have, I'm sorry to say it, but like when you got a freaking waist that big, that's a massive waist, bro. My God, when your waist is that big, when your focal point of your physique, the center of your physique, the stomach area, when that is larger than your legs, when that's larger than damn near almost anything, like it matches his shoulder width. His waist is as wide as he is upstairs with his shoulders. When you have that, your lower body, my God, you need to grow that to compensate so much more. Nick Walker doesn't have small legs. Absolutely not. Nick Walker has big legs, actually. But you can't tell. Like, if you were to measure his legs, like, just take a measuring tape and just wrap around it and go from tip to tip. Go from end to end. It's probably big freaking legs. Like, freaking massive legs. But the waist, bro. And like, his legs only look small from the front, which is where you can see the waist. From the side, they're freaking massive. From the back, he has like maybe the biggest legs on stage next to Samson from the back. I mean, Samson this year, he wasn't on, but when Samson is on, he has some of the biggest legs from the back. So it has to be like the waist. The fact that that waist takes up so much space, it just makes everything look lesser than. And I think that's just what you need to fix. How? I don't know. How do you go backwards? Like, if he can bring, I keep saying in like every Nick Walker video, all of them, if he can go back and bring 2021 Arnold Nick, if we can get the 2021 Arnold or the 2021 New York Pro, if we can get that version of Nick Walker on stage, dead, just like dead, bro. Like, that's, for a guy with that kind of waist, that was still a great physique. For a guy with that kind of waist, that was still an incredible package. Like, honestly. So, I don't know what he's going to do in terms of a show. They kind of touched on that a little bit in terms of, will he be doing any shows end of year? Will he be doing, maybe the Arnold or something? Undecided. But he does want to hit one of the earlier shows just to kind of get the Olympic qualification out of the way, which I think is smart at this point. And, let's see what he does. But just brought in the worst package, man. Like, it was one of his worst looks ever, honestly. Anyways, guy, quick video. Hope you enjoy it. Like, share, comment down below. And if you're not subscribed, make it a thing. What are you doing? Sub to the boy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.